Hello folks, it's Mike here again at Keto Style. I just want to share another recipe with you today. Today, since this is December and it's deer season, I'm going to make some venison sausage, some breakfast sausage actually. And it's real easy to do if you have access to a hunter or someone, your husband or boyfriend or son or whatever that loves to hunt, even daughters. I mean, there's a lot of women that actually hunt too. But if you have access to some deer meat, venison sausage is really good. And if the processor didn't make it, it's real easy to make at home. Actually, what you'll want to do is you'll just take some deer grind, and that's like ground hamburger, ground venison. And of course, it comes in a package like that. And then you can just take regular sausage. If you don't want to add all the different spices in individually for yourself, you can do a shortcut and just add actual store-bought sausage or whatever. I actually get this from our grocer. They make homemade fresh ground pork or fresh ground sausage, and it has some spices in it. But what I usually do when I put mine together, of course, we'll go ahead and get started here. I'm just going to add this deer grind, take it out of the package here and set that aside. Then I'm going to, typically what I do on my ratio is I do 1 to 1. I do 1 pound of deer grind, ground deer venison, and I do 1 pound of ground pork, or homemade pork sausage in this case. But today I had actually laid out more than I had intended to, and so I've got another pound of store-bought sausage here, and I'm going to cut it open and use it in there too, so we'll have plenty of it, because I'm intending on actually not only making breakfast sausage patties. I'm probably going to take a little bit of this, and I know this is not keto, so all the keto police don't get on me and bust me over this, but I'm actually going to make some sausage balls, and they're made out of, there's going to be some Bisquick in there, and I know that's not keto friendly necessarily, but hey, it's Christmas, we're going to enjoy some Christmas sausage balls, and do that about once a year. Alright, so what I typically do here, if you don't have a grinder, a meat grinder, which I don't, you just put all your sausage together, and what you're going to want to do, what I typically like to do is, since deer is so lean, you've got to add some pork to it, or it won't hardly cook up real well. And so that's the reason why you want to add pork sausage to your deer grind in order to make your venison sausage, because like I said, it's got to have some fat in there to cook. The other thing, there's 2 things that I add to this, since deer grind doesn't have it in order to make the sausage, is I add real sea salt. This is Redmond's real sea salt, and I'll leave some information in the description there in this video. You can look into that. It's the best salt I've found, and I mean, it's really good. I use it a lot and use it on everything. Let me open this dude up here. But anyway, I want to add, probably, since this deer doesn't have any, I'm going to probably put about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And the other thing too, since your sausage that you buy from the store, or if your butcher actually makes sausage, homemade sausage like ours does, it'll probably already have some sage in it. But since the deer doesn't have it, I'm going to be mixing it with that. I'm going to add some additional sage to this, and I'm probably going to put, I'm going to say probably a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. I usually do 1 to 1 on salt and sage. And what you're going to want to do after that, once you get all that in there, you just want to go to incorporate all this together. Be sure and just get your pork and your deer to mix up well. And if you had access to a grinder, which I don't, but you can real easily do this by hand, and that's not a problem. A little messy, but anyway, that's fine. Get your hands in it and just mix all this up, squeeze it all up real good, and get it all incorporated. And as soon as we get this done, I'll come back to you here and show you what it looks like when we cook it. Alright, well, we've got all that incorporated, and this is basically what it looks like. As you can see now, that deer meat has a lot of fat in it, has a lot of pork incorporated into that. And we got our cast iron skillet going here. Just love my cast iron. There's nothing like cooking in cast iron. And I've got some bacon grease left over where I cooked some bacon. And of course that's pork also, and that's good fat to cook in. And all you need to do is just to make some breakfast sausage. You know, you can make them any size you want. You can do them like about that size right there, or you could even double them, and that way when you're eating you know, your breakfast sausage, you won't have to eat two. You can just eat one if you like, or however many. But anyway, I usually make them about this size right here. And I'm going to go ahead and lay these dudes in here, and we'll fry some of these up and show you what it looks like. Now, cast iron is so good to cook with. I mean, it distributes the heat so evenly throughout when you're cooking. That's one thing I love about them. They're so durable. I mean, they're really tough. You can't hardly destroy one. I guess you could somehow, but you know, I've cooked on open fire with cast iron. I've cooked on stove top. I've cooked out even on a concrete driveway, you know, and with charcoal and regular firewood or whatever. But you can use cast iron in so many things, and it's so good for most of your recipes. They say it actually adds a little iron to your food. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And but another thing too that I like about them is you don't have all that Teflon, you know, that can get into your food. If that Teflon gets bad or whatever and starts peeling on these skillets that they have now today, they call them non-stick. Well, if you prepare a cast iron skillet properly and season it right, and maybe we'll do a video on that sometime too soon, because I do cook in cast iron a lot. And but if you prepare them right, season them right, your skillet is actually non-stick for the most part. I mean, there's some food items that are a little tougher. Eggs, sometimes if you don't have one seasoned completely right, don't cook it right, sometimes eggs will tend to stick a little bit. But I mean, most of the times when I'm cooking like scrambled eggs, my eggs don't even stick in the cast iron. So, but anyway, we've got these here. We've got some of these breakfast sausages cooking, and as soon as we get these cooked up, I'm going to come back to you and show you what they look like when they're done. All right, well, we've got these things just about cooked up. I want to kind of show you what they look like. They're frying up really nice. They've got a good color to them. That pork helps them stay together. Deer meat, deer grind, that if you try to cook it a lot of times without some kind of binder like pork, it just doesn't stick together because there's no fat. Deer meat is so lean, and so that's the reason why we add pork to this. So these breakfast sausage patties are coming together nice. I just wanted to share this with you and show you how easy this is to do if you have access to some deer grind. The recipe, once again, I just take deer grind. I usually do 1-to-1 on it, but today I did a little different. I do 1 pound of deer grind. I do 1 pound of homemade breakfast sausage. Maybe if your butcher or your grocery store has that. Either that, or you can just buy some regular pork sausage of any name brand you use, and mix that in there. Or you can actually add the spices individually that you want to put in there. A lot of people put brown sugar and sage, and of course you want salt and some pepper, and you can add other things too to your liking depending on what you want. And but anyway, we just take and add store-bought sausage to our deer grind. And since the deer meat doesn't have sage and salt in it, I go ahead and add some additional salt. Typically I put about a tablespoon or a little more depending on how much we have to mix in. and I usually do about a tablespoon of sage to it also. And then, like I said, you can take and fry it up, and this is what it looks like. It looks so good. Let me put this on a plate here, and I'm going to cut one of these and let you look at what it looks like here. All right, let me grab a fork here and show you what this what this deer sausage looks like. Look at that. I mean, that's just perfect. Another thing too, if you like it real spicy, I know a lot of people add red pepper flakes to theirs. You know, maybe some cayenne pepper or whatever. You can spice it up to your liking. My wife doesn't really like sausage that's real spicy, so I tend to make mine on the mild side. But anyway, there you go, folks. There you have it. There's some venison sausage made out of deer grind, and hey, it's great. It's that time of year. It's that season. It's deer season. So if you have some friends or family or whatever that like to hunt and you have access to some deer grind, you can make some good deer sausage. Hey, we appreciate you guys. If you like what we're doing, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Leave some kind of comment of how you've made it, or if you have any questions about how we make it or whatever, leave a comment. Hit the subscribe button if you hadn't subscribed to our channel yet, and we'll be coming back to you again with some different kind of videos and different kind of recipes and different kind of topics about keto and different things all keto. So we appreciate you guys. Have a great day. It's Mike over here at Keto Style.